May Allah bless all of you and accept all of us, inshallah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأطيب التحيات وأتم التسليم على حبيب قلوبنا سيدنا محمد وعلى أبيه إبراهيم وعلى أخويه موسى وعيسى وبقية إخوانه من النبيين وآل كل وصحب كل أجمعين. اللهم أخرجنا من ظلمات الجهل وأدخلنا بنور العلم جزاك الله وارزقنا الأناة والحلم ومتعنا بسعة الفهم عنك يا أرحم الراحمين. سبحانك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. Dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, the reference of today's hadith is volume number 1, book number 4, hadith number 182. Hadith number 182. This chapter has a special title in the book of Bukhari. The Bukhari said, when a person help his friend to do wudu, when a Muslim pour water for his friend to do wudu. This hadith narrated by the son of Sayyidina al-Mughira ibn Shu'bah. Focus with this hadith. The son of al-Mughira. Al-Mughira, one of the Sahaba. And his son get the knowledge from his father. And this is very important idea. Let us, brothers, pass our power and our knowledge to our families. It's not enough to be as a scholar or as a teacher and your family, let's say, is ignorant or very far from your way. Honestly, I met a lot of people with this mentality. I met a lot of scholars. May Allah bless you, Azu. Jazakallah. Allah support all of you, inshallah. I met a lot of scholars. They were amazing scholars, real scholars. But actually their families, their children are very far from their ways. Do you understand me this point? So how nice when your son will carry on of your way, especially if you way with knowledge, if you way according to the sunnah of Rasulullah, if you way on the way of Allah and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I will add this hadith. One of the actions which keep our reward continuous even after death, when you keep a child or children who will do the same good actions after you. And this is very important idea, respected brothers. So the son of Mughira narrated أنه كان مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في سفر وأنه ذهب لحاجة له وأن المغيرة جعل يصب الماء عليه وهو يتوضأ فغسل وجهه ويديه ومسح برأسه ومسح على الخفين. The translation of this hadith, Sayyidina al-Mughira, one of the friends of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was accompanying with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam during his journey. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to answer the call of nature, to he went to for toilet, and when he finished, the Mughira, this amazing Sahabi, directly he took a bowl of water and he poured the water for the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ to do his wudu. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he used to do all his actions in front of his friends. Why? Because when we teach our families, our children, our friends, with actions, brothers, better than to teach them just with lectures, with words. Do you understand? When I talk about Qiyamul Layl, the best knowledge I give you when I say, come and pray with me Qiyamul Layl, to teach you how we do proper Qiyam. When I talk about Tahajjud, the best way when I say, come before Fajr, we will pray Tahajjud together. And this is the way of Rasulullah. He used to spend his time with his friends in masjid. He used to travel with his friends. He used to do everything among his friends, his companions. Does that make sense? Currently, respected brother, we find the big scholars, they hide themselves at their houses or their offices, and just a small amount of people will get contact with them. Actually, this is not the way of Rasulullah. Yes, I will be honest, because Shaykh, currently you find some people, they don't respect the time of Shaykh. Honestly, brothers. You find some brother, they come, this happened 1,000 and 1,000 times. Shaykh, I need 2 minutes. This 2 minutes will get, trust me, sometime 30 minutes. A person who come, yes, he's happy with the Shaykh, he feel relaxed, he feel more calm and confident. Anyway, but you have to respect the time of the Shaykh. Does that make sense? Other point, you find some brothers, and this is very important, brother, like every Friday, every Sunday, we have some of brothers come from other cities to attend, to meet the Shaykh. You find local brothers, after the class will come to the Shaykh, to sit with the Shaykh and keep the brothers who come from far away outside. We should learn, brothers, because you are my brother. If I see any strange man or some travelers come from outside Birmingham, I will give them the priority to meet the Shaykh. I can meet the Shaykh every day, every evening, every Friday, but those people, they come once maybe per year. Do you understand me with this point? The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to be very close to his friends. But look at Imam Bukhari. Sometimes you find the hadith happen with Abu Huraira, sometime with Amr ibn al-As, sometime with Abu Bakr, sometime with Mughira. What does that mean? He used to give everyone his right. And he opened the door for everyone. And the Sahaba were the intelligent student, and they used to collect the knowledge from the actions and the manners of Rasulullah and pass this knowledge to people who come behind or after them. Do you understand me with this point, brother? Sayyidina al-Mughira, he recognized the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, finished, and he took the water and he poured the water for the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ to do his wudu. But look, he didn't do that just to make sure. Sayyidina al-Mughira, he was focusing with every single action the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did to pass this knowledge for us. Look what he said. He said, when I poured the water for the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he washed his face. So he gave us the first pillar of wudu. Brothers, again, till now, if we ask Muslim, what are the pillars of wudu? Trust me. If I say 95% from Muslim will say, wash your hand wash your mouth, wash your nose. Those are not the pillars of wudu. We should understand there is big difference between pillars, conditions, and sunan as well. Do you understand me with this point? So, we should learn our knowledge from right way. Keep your knowledge now. If you talk, you say this is a public class. But if you want to make this class among the student in the university, you have to get formal way. If you want to give speech in front of the MPs in the parliament, you have to get different words. Does that make sense, brothers? Same respected brothers. When I ask about the pillars, give me the pillars. So for that, Sayyidina al-Mughira gave us the pillars. He said, فَغَسَلَ وَجْهَهُ. Can I wash my face before I wash my hand? Seriously? No. But it's possible as well. If you go to get shower, maybe the water come to your face before your hand. For that, we should say, the first pillar, wash your face. This is the pillar. Sheikh, but I have to wash my hand. Yes, but this is not the pillar. The first pillar, wash your face. And the size of face from the hairline to chin and from earlobe to earlobe. We should focus, brothers, for some point, some places in our face, like here. Some people, they wash their face quickly, but the water don't touch this place, or under nose, or this point between the nose and the eye. This point you find, especially morning, seriously. If you focus, you will say, yes, Shaykh Fadi, you are right. Many brothers, they come on the Fajr prayer, and there is the yellow wax on their eyes. That means they didn't do proper wudu. So this is what we should focus. Wash your face. The Sayyidina al-Mughira, he said the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam washed his face, and he washed his hands from the top of fingers till his elbow sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he wiped his head. In this hadith, Sayyidina al-Mughira didn't explain too much, but in the other hadith, in Bukhari, he explained everything. He said he washed his face 3 times. He washed his hand till his elbow 2 times. He wiped his head. He keep his hand wet, and he wiped his head from front to back and from back to front, like this. Okay. He explained everything in other hadiths in Bukhari as well. Then the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wipe on top of the khuf. Khuf, this word in Arabic, means the leather socks or the thick fabric socks. Focus with me, brothers. Nowadays we find some people, with all respect, they have opinion for this action. They wipe on top of the normal socks. I respect the opinion of Ibn Taymiyyah. This big scholar, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, he get this opinion and gave them permission to wipe on top of leather socks, top of normal socks. But actually, many brothers, they come, Shaykh, what is your opinion? I say, I cannot accept that. Because if we study let's say, the characters of leather socks or khuf, you will find this normal socks not suitable with this khuf. Do you understand me? The khuf at the time of Rasulullah should, the first thing, cover our ankles. Very important. Because I met some friends in the college, they wipe on top of the khuf, and you know these small socks sometimes come under the ankles. They get these small socks. At least if you want to wipe on top of the normal socks, keep the socks cover the ankles. Otherwise, this is not khuf totally. So the first point, khuf should be cover our ankles. Number two, should be tight with the foot. Do you understand? Number three, should if I put some water drops on top of these socks or leather socks, I cannot feel, I keep my foot dry. If I drop some water drops on top of the leather socks, you will not find anything in your foot. Does that make sense? Same, one of you, he said, Shaykh, there is new socks now, fabric socks, but has special materials. If you drop the water, nothing will come to your foot. That acceptable. But I saw some brother, you know the normal socks now? If you put one drop, you feel this way in your foot. So I cannot say this is khuf. Still, I give you all the evidence. I respect the opinion. But if you ask me, I cannot do it. Why I say that, brothers? We should learn to be open-minded. If there are some scholars follow this opinion, focus. I will not fight with anyone. I'm not the God to judge people. I get some knowledge. I feel this is the right way. Should be leather socks or thick fabric. This is what I feel relaxed. This is what I believe. I will follow that. If someone come from you, he said, Shaykh, I said, don't do it. But if someone said, Shaykh, I do it, and I believe that opinion, I said, Bismillah, this is your choice. Do you understand me with this point? Now, if the Imam wear normal socks, shall I ask myself, I follow the Imam, is the Imam wipe on top of the socks or not? No, this is not my job. I will follow the Imam. And even if the Imam wipe on top of these socks, this is not my job. My reward not from the Imam, my reward from Allah. I'll give you more idea for this. Let's say the Imam doesn't have right ablution, right wudu. Imam come, start prayer, and we are behind the Imam. And actually the Imam, he didn't refresh or he doesn't have right wudu. What is the rules for our prayers as a followers? What is the rules? Do you know? All the followers will get full reward. If the Imam did that by mistake, Allah will give him full reward. Full reward as well. Why? Because the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said in the authentic hadith, سَقَطَ عَنْ أُمَّةِ الْخَطَأ وَالنِّسْيَانِ وَمَا اسْتُكْرِهُ عَلَيْهِ. 3 ways Allah will not blame us if we get mistake with these 3 ways. The first one, if I did something by mistake. Like, I thought that I have wudu and I pray. After pray, maybe after Isha, I remember, Subhanallah, I break my wudu before Maghrib. How did I pray Maghrib and Isha? This is by mistake. Allah will not blame us. By mistake. Or, if I forget, like, I used to pray, this happened a lot with those people who used to pray with Jama'ah. I used to pray all my prayer in masjid. One day I went with my family, I went for any work, and I forget Dhuhr prayer. I thought I prayed with Jama'ah. When I came on Maghrib, I prayed with Jama'ah. I remember today I didn't pray Dhuhr. I didn't attend in masjid at the time of Dhuhr. Subhanallah, I didn't pray Dhuhr as well. I forget. Allah will not blame us. Do you understand? Do qadha. Focus, important point. You have to do qadha for this prayer, and inshallah you are not guilty. This second way. So the first one, if I did that by mistake, if I forget, or someone force me to do bad things. Like someone or some group, this happened now with some Muslim countries or some non-Muslim countries, they don't allow to Muslim people to pray Jum'ah prayer. Does that make sense? One of my friends in Muslim country, they said, Wallah Shaykh, in some places in Muslim country, they don't allow to Muslim to pray Jama'ah or Jum'ah prayer. Jum'ah prayer, Friday prayer. If you have like a group will kill you or do something because you do this worship and you delay this worship, you are not guilty in the court of Allah. Do you understand me with these 3 points? So let's say the Imam forget to get wudu and pray Jama'ah. What is the situation for followers? You will get 4 rewards from Allah. So same, if the Imam wipe on top of his thin socks, we'll say your reward full. But if I know him, he do that always, listen, I will not pray behind him always. Do you understand me? If I find other place close to my house or my work, I will go to other one. Is that clear, inshallah, brothers? Inshallah. This is the rules of Masah ala al-Khuffayn. So Khuffayn, what does Khuffayn mean? Thick socks, fabric socks, or leather socks. Should this Khuffayn cover the ankles, tight with the foot? And in Hanafi madhab, I can walk with this khuf at least 2 kilometers. That means 1.5 miles. At least. I can walk. Okay? Not in the masjid with carpet, in the street. If we get this normal socks, can I walk 2 miles with this? Do you understand me, brothers? Let us go ahead with these rules of leather socks. If I am in my city, like us now, I can wear the leather socks or khuf, and I will do masah on top of this khuf for 1 day. What does mean 1 day? Let's say 24 hours. When this 24 hours starts, do you know when? Let's say, before Dhuhr prayer, Shaykh Fadi, I wear these leather socks. Shaykh Fadi did wudu from 10 a.m. Pray duha, he keep his wudu, come to masjid, he wear the leather socks with wudu. Do you understand? That means I have valid wudu. Okay? I wear the leather socks. I didn't break my wudu till Maghrib. Imagine with me. Till Maghrib. When I did my wudu, 10 a.m. When I break this wudu, Maghrib. The time of this 24 hours will start from Maghrib. Not from the time I did the wudu. From the time I break that wudu. Sheikh, but you wear the socks at the time of Dhuhr. Okay. The 1 day will start from the time that you break your wudu. Okay? I break on Maghrib, I have permission to do masah on top of this leather socks till next day Maghrib. Or the Maghrib of next day. Okay? This just wudu. Let's say during the night that person get wet dream. What shall I do? We'll say at that time you will take off these socks and you will do shower. Shower. Let's say, Sheikh, that person was traveling and there is no water and he get wet dream. The rules now change. Focus. If he is traveling, he has permission to keep his socks 3 days, not 1 day. As a person who lives in his city or his country, 1 day. And this time of this day start from the time I break the wudu. Do you understand? If I am traveling, I have permission to keep the socks 3 days. If I need to do shower and I have water, I have to take off these socks or this khuf. Okay? If there is no water, I will do tayammum. You don't need to take off these socks. You will do tayammum, focus. You will do tayammum, and the time of these socks will start when you break your wudu after tayammum. Is that clear or hard? Do you understand me, brothers? Shall I explain more? Okay. Let's say, Shaykh Fadi, now I wear my socks. Seriously, I did my wudu at 10 a.m. I pray duha. Nothing strange now. I came to masjid before dhuhr, I wear my socks. I keep my wudu. I cannot wear khuf, leather socks or thick fabric socks if I don't have wudu. I have to wear the socks with tahara, with wudu. Is that clear? Good. I wear my socks now. I break my wudu at the time of Maghrib. From that time I break my wudu, I will account the hours, 24 hours. Let's say at 9 I break my wudu. That means you can, from 9 evening till next day, 9 evening, do masih. Okay? Is that clear? This is for muqim. Muqim who lives in his city or his country. We call muqim. Like all of us, we live in Birmingham. We call muqim. Let's say Shaykh Fadi now. Is that clear till here? Good. Shaykh Fadi now travel to Scotland or London. Okay? And Shaykh Fadi in London, he wear his socks. Shaykh Fadi at that time, he is traveler. Does that make sense? Instead of 1 day, he has permission to wear his socks for 3 days. Shaykh Fadi, before he leave Birmingham, he did wudu. Focus with me, please. And he wear his socks, as I said, with tahara, with wudu. Okay? I arrived to London, I pray Maghrib, Isha, I keep my wudu. At 12 midnight, I went to toilet. Now, I start to account these 3 days. Do you understand me? So, Shaykh Fadi, Sunday evening, midnight, he break his wudu. We'll say Monday, midnight. Tuesday, midnight. Wednesday, midnight. This permission finish Wednesday, midnight. Is that clear? Because he is, say with me, traveler. But if he is as a person in his city, just 1 day. Is that clear, brothers? Now, let's say during the journey in London, Shaykh Fadi need a shower, compulsory shower. Okay? During these 3 days. We'll say at that time you have to take off your socks or khuf and do shower. Okay? If I wear this khuf after shower, I will start a new 3 days. Is that clear? Any question till here? Now, Shaykh Fadi, let's say, as I said, Shaykh Fadi start his wudu at 10 a.m. He wear the socks. He wear the socks before dhuhr. He pray dhuhr with people, pray asr. Still his wudu valid. Okay? And after asr, this happened with me. I take off my socks. What is the rule with this situation? Still your wudu valid. Exactly like let's say I left my home with wudu, I wear my socks to go to my job, and when I came back, I take off my socks. Still my wudu, right. Does that make sense? Now the strange question, Shaykh Fadi, 10, get his wudu, wear his socks at the dhuhr, and after dhuhr, he break his wudu. Okay? He break his wudu. And after dhuhr, when he break his wudu directly as a sunnah, he refresh his wudu and he made a new wudu. But with the new wudu, I wipe on top of socks. Does that make sense? And after dhuhr, when I decide to leave masjid to go home, I take off my socks or my khuf. Is that wudu still valid or no? Yes, no, no, yes. Actually, majority scholars said yes. Majority scholars said yes. And some scholars said no. Majority scholars said yes. Some scholars said no, but the opinion, the scholars who currently follow, the opinion of no. Why? They said because you have either, let's say I did my wudu, I wear my socks, I break my wudu, I do other new wudu, I wipe on top of the leather socks, and at the end of my work, I took off these leather socks. The scholars who said our wudu is not valid, they said you have to wash your feet at least. At least wash your feet and your wudu right now. But actually Sayyidina Ali and the Sahaba didn't wash their feet. They did same. They wipe on top of the leather socks, and when they take off the leather socks, they prayed without new wudu. Why? You see, respected brothers, why I said, let us get our knowledge from proper way. Because they said, we learned, we have some actions, these actions will break our wudu. When I wipe on top of the leather socks, I have valid wudu, isn't it? Let's say I take off my jacket. If I take off my jacket, my wudu still right or wrong? If I take off my trouser, seriously, I see some of you. Brother, if you stay naked at your home without clothes, still your wudu valid. Do you understand? For that, Sayyidina Ali, when he took off the socks, he said, still my wudu right. Why I mention this opinion? To get more knowledge, brothers. Sometime you take off your socks and you didn't do wudu again, and you pray. We say, in other opinion, your prayer right. But the best now, and this is what I recommend, the best, if you have time, redo your wudu. Is that clear? Is that clear? But if, let's say, I'm a traveler, I don't have time, I don't have water, we say, this wudu is valid. I hope, inshallah, all of you understand this class. You see, brothers, one word from the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ give us this knowledge. I see here many brothers scared to wear these leather socks. But actually this is very important to learn, especially in the cold countries, to get this information, because the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did that many times at his life. May Allah support us with beneficial knowledge to follow his beloved the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and keep all of us on the right path. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And the last idea, Imam Bukhari get that mean, if a brother he want to support his brother or help his brother, this is allowed. Do you understand? Because maybe this opinion didn't come to you, but I met, this is ghurur. Ghurur, that means when I come and I pour water for you, they said, don't do it. This is takabbur, arrogant. He is not your servant. Do you wudu by yourself? No, this happened with the Prophet. This happened with Sahaba. Do you understand me, brothers? So may Allah keep all of us on the right path. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Before I want to ask a question. Who is ready to remind us what are the pillars of wudu, please? My student, yes. Farhat. Wash your feet, important. Wash your feet up to ankles. Allah bless you. Amazing. How nice when you find our children should this information like our names. Seriously, should know this information like our names. Inshallah. Yes, Mahfouz.
Sayyidi, what is the purpose of wearing leather socks?
The purpose, this is we call rukhsa. Rukhsa, that means Allah allowed to us to do that because Allah chose everything easy way for Muslim. Every time Allah likes to put us on the easy way to do the best worship. Do you understand me? Please, brothers, especially Asian mentality. We like to do the hard worship. We like to put people in the hard position. Wallahi, Allah on the opposite side. The religion of Allah on the opposite side. ما جعل عليكم في الدين من حرج. Allah always chose the easy way. For that Allah says, if you are in your city, you can't wear these leather socks. Like, to be honest, it's very comfortable for myself, I see. Especially when you want to do wudu. I met many people, they have asthma on their skin, especially their feet. And they need that. Do you understand me? In the other hadith, I would like, but I see the time, we get long time. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, one day he wiped on top of the turban, the laffa. He did like this. That's it. Yes, strange opinion, but this is in Bukhari, brothers. All this word that I mentioned now, wallahi, from Bukhari. Bukhari, what does Bukhari mean? That means the best and the rightest book after Quran. Does that make sense? This is what we believe. So this is what we should learn as well. Don't be like that person who dislike to get more knowledge. I said open your mind, open your heart. Our religion amazing when we practice our religion according to the sunnah of Rasulullah. So the purpose to make everything easy for us, wallahi. Okay?
Another question, Sayyidi.
Speak up, please.
Another question. Would you recommend to wear leather socks when traveling? So, you know, when anyone travels, would you recommend them to wear leather socks?
Let's say if I will go to Saudi Arabia, can I wear leather socks? Leather socks has special situation. But if some people said, yes, Shaykh, I like to, as I said, if some people, they have some asthma or some problems on their skin and their feet, and they need to wear it. We say, Bismillah, if you wear the leather socks all your life, no problem. But with this condition, if you are traveler, you have 3 days. What does mean 3 days? After 3 days, I will take off these leather socks. I will do proper wudu, okay? And I will wear these leather socks again, okay? With this, if you are in your city, you have 1 day. But if you want to wear it 24 hours, 7 days, Bismillah, okay? Inshallah. Any question here? Bismillah.
What is the best way to do masah with the leather socks?
Amazing. Important question. The way to do masah, brothers. Let's say this is my foot, okay? If I want to do masah, I will take little bit water just to make my hand wet. And just, you see what I do? In my fingers, I will do like this on top of my foot. Like this. That's just like this. You don't need to put water on top of the socks and what is the point after that? No, just take wet hand and wipe on top of the leather socks. For that, look at this point. Sayyidina Ali, he said, this religion comes from Allah, not from mankind. Actually, I wear the leather socks. Which side will be dirty? Top or bottom? Bottom. But when we do wudu, we wipe on top. Why? Because Allah ordered that to make us on the easy way. Do you understand, brothers? Inshallah. Definitely both. Definitely. In the best way, you will get with both hands and do it together like this. Or you will get on the right hand, do it like this and like this. You don't need to get other water. One time and do it on top of right and left. Is that clear? Yes, Abdul Malik. I mentioned good. You see, brother, when you ask, you make the idea clear. Because the idea clear in my mind. I think you are same. I try to explain as much as I can. But when you ask, you help me to give you more idea. Let's say I come to pray in Siraj al-Munira. Shaykh Fadi start to prayer and he finishes prayer. I left Siraj al-Munira. Shaykh Fadi forget he, subhanallah, I break my wudu when I'm coming to masjid. Okay? I remember this after Jama'ah prayer. Okay? What shall I do? At the beginning, all the brothers, they get full reward. Even me, because that by mistake, I will get reward. But I have to do qadha. And in Hanafi madhab, focus, I have to announce. In Hanafi madhab. In other madhab, you don't need. They get their reward full, inshallah. But in Hanafi madhab, I will come Asr prayer. Brother, sorry, who prayed with us, please, Dhuhr prayer, do qadha. And you will get full reward. We don't need to go back. Oh, he prayed with us with invalid wudu. Oh, Shaykh Fadi prayed. Wallahi, brothers, shall I say this word? Silly mentality, this. Sayyidina Umar, he was on the pulpit. He broke his wudu in the minbar in front of all Sahaba, Friday prayer. Do you know what he said? He said, sorry, I pass wind. I need to refresh my wudu. And he left the masjid, fresh my wudu and come back. And just to know, when he left not next door like our masjid, he has to go out to do wudu, proper wudu outside and come back. Do you understand me, brothers? We should pass this information, this knowledge for everyone. If the Imam, this happened with me here in Siraj al-Munira. One day I start my prayer, seriously, wallah, I have shocked when I said, directly I get the hand of Sabir, and this why we should keep educated people, behind us. I pull his hand and I left the masjid, fresh my wudu, come back. We are mankind, we are not angels. Does that make sense? And this is, inshallah, other information we'll explain later. If the Imam remember his wudu is not valid, ask me, inshallah, next week. Yes? The best time when you remember that. Let's say, I remember now, oh, I forget to pray Fajr. If I have wudu directly, this is what the Prophet, مَنْ نَامَ عَنْ صَلَاةٍ أَوْ نَسِيَهَا. If you were sleeping or you forget this prayer, when you remember that, do qadha. فَلْيُصَلِّيَهَا إِذَا ذَكَرَهَا أو حين يذكرها. Directly. Don't delay. Okay? Because if the death come, and we don't know when the death will come, you will meet Allah and Allah will ask us about this prayer. Yes. Yes, Shaykh.
My question is about Bukhari.
Yes.
Can we wear shoes or without shoes?
Amazing. Allah bless you. He asked, either khuffain with shoes or without shoes. This depends the shoes. Let's say if I have normal socks now, but I have leather shoes, and these shoes cover my, focus with this point, why I repeat, my ankles, because if this shoes lower than my ankles like normal shoes, this is not valid. But you see some kind of shoes now cover even the half of the legs. Does that make sense? Especially who go to army. You see the shoes of army cover to the half of the legs. Can I do masih on top? 100% you can, but with one condition. If you wear these shoes and you have valid wudu. Focus. Okay? But if the shoes lower than the ankles, I cannot do masih on top of these shoes. Okay? If I wear leather socks now, leather socks, and I wear my shoes, I don't care for the shoes lower or higher. Okay? I will do masih on top of the socks, or if you want to do on top of the shoes, it's allowed because this is together. Okay? Inshallah. Yes, Khalid.
When do you become a traveler? Do you count the distance from your house, or do you count the distance from the border of your city?
I'm very happy for this question because I'm honest with the brothers from Pakistan, Bangladesh. They have one opinion. And this gives me opportunity to give you other opinions. I know some of you dislike that, but wallahi, this is the proper way. He asked, when can I say I am a traveler? Let's say Sheikh Fadi decide to travel to London. From Birmingham to London, there are more than 83 kilometers, okay? And this is the distance of traveler. When Sheikh Fadi can say I am traveler, when I leave the countryside of Birmingham, the building of Birmingham, do you understand? You see, every city has a building, even this building is a little bit far from the city center. When I leave this building and start with the countryside, I get the rules of traveler. Do you understand me with this point? If I am inside Birmingham, I'm still in my home, I'm not a traveler. When I leave Birmingham, let's say I start to be between Birmingham and Coventry, you see this countryside, after airport, we say you are traveler now. Do you understand me? Inshallah. And you can practice the rules of traveler. The rules of traveler. But you will not do qasr till you pass this 83. Inshallah. There is other opinion, just to give you this more or full information. Some scholars, they said they can do qasr when you pass this countryside, even less than 83. But I prefer the first opinion.
Sheikh, is it okay if you don't fast in Ramadan if you travel?
100%. If you are a traveler, Allah give you permission to open fast. But Allah says, وَإِن تَصُومُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. But if you fast, if you don't have trouble, if you don't get any problem with your health, with your situation, better to fast. But the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was traveler and opened his fast. Okay?
Sheikh, what should we do when we realize during the namaz that we don't have wudu, just we break wudu during namaz?
Alhamdulillah. This is what I mentioned. Sometime, brothers, subhanallah, I'll give you this very important idea. Let's say Sheikh Fadi did wudu at 10 a.m., okay? And after dhuhr, or at the time of Asr, I want from 10 to Asr 7:30. Many work I did, isn't it? When I come to pray Asr, focus. Sometime shaitan come to play with you. You wudu invalid. Focus. The scholar said, keep this point in your head. Sheikh Fadi, when you did your wudu, I am sure I did wudu at 10 a.m. But I'm not sure I went to toilet during this time or not. We say you have wudu. Start prayer. Okay? Why? Because there is rule in Islam. الْيَقِينُ لَا يَزُولُ بِالشَّكِّ. That means if I am 100% I remember my wudu, and I cannot remember if I break it or no, we say you have wudu. Now on the opposite side, I remember I went to toilet after dhuhr. I remember that. But I'm not sure if I did wudu after that or no. Wallahi, I'm not sure. That means 100% you break your wudu, isn't it? And you are not sure that you refresh your wudu. That means you don't have wudu. Don't pray. Is that clear now? So if the shaitan come to play with you, I remember I did wudu, but wallahi I'm not sure. You have wudu and carry on. Now, let's say, start prayer, and during prayer, subhanallah, you make sure that you break your wudu. If you are alone, easy. But if you are the imam, and this happened, again, this happened. Respected brothers, this happened with Rasulullah. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ start his prayer, Jibreel directly came to him. But the Prophet has Jibreel. We don't have Jibreel. Jibreel directly came to him. He said, "Oh Muhammad, your shoes has dirty." The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ inside the prayer, he take off his shoes. Do you understand? But we don't have that. So sometimes you start the prayer seriously, and during the prayer you recognize, yes, I went to toilet. If you are the imam, this depends your faith. If you have strong faith, you will not care. I will take the hand of the brother behind me, bring him. He will be the imam. He will carry on. He will not be confused. What shall I do? Carry on. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. I will put it right. The brother who will come directly, والعصر إن الإنسان لفي. Carry on as a normal, the prayer 100% right. Okay? If I am not imam, easy. When I remember, oh, my wudu is not valid, I will do taslim, then I will go to fresh my wudu. Is that clear, inshallah? What do you mean?
Actually, I'm asking about the Sajda Tilawat. And some people said we can do together 14 end of the Quran when we...
Yes. It's some opinion exactly. This is a different question now. If a person recite Quran, as we know, we have 14 verses in Quran in Hanafi madhab, 14. In other madhahib, how many? 15. So let's say the person who recite Quran, he didn't do this tilawat or sajdat tilawat, we say, the prostration of recitation. Okay? Shall I do this sujood at the end of khatam? Yes. One of the biggest scholar, Hanafi scholar in Masjid al-Umawi in Damascus, he used to sit from Fajr till Dhuhr, about 6 hours with the student who revise Quran, who learn Tajweed. It's not acceptable every student, sometime every student, you find 5-6 students, they recite verses of Sajda. He will not stop and do, no. He keep all of them finish, at the end, he account them 6-7 Sajda, and he used to sit and do 7 Sajda, that's it. Okay? Allah bless all of you. No problem.
One is, if we are wearing the leather socks, and we have another socks under the leather socks, is that we...
If the leather socks tight, like me, I have under socks, this other socks, exactly. This is 100% right. 100. Just to know, the leather socks at the time of Rasulullah, do you know how was this leather socks? The people used to get fabric, and they used to rub this fabric around their foot. Seriously. Do you understand? I mean, this fabric, other fabric, other fabric. Do you understand? This one kind of the socks or the khuf. And some people, they used to get the leather and put it and put other one on top of it to make it thick. That's it. But now, alhamdulillah, we have many kind of leather socks, and we have nice leather socks, easy for us. Yes?
Second question, when you are throwing before, when you do second wuzu, we wear leather socks, and we remove the leather socks, and then we have to do a wuzu again.
This is what I mentioned now.
When we re-wearing the leather socks and carry on the
Yeah.
we break the wudu,
Yeah.
we wearing leather socks, and then
No, I cannot wear the leather socks with this.
no, when we was wudu, we have wudu, and then we wearing the leather socks, and then we do re-wudu while we wearing leather socks. We go back home, remove the leather socks, so we have to do wudu again to do prayer.
This what I said. We have two opinions. The let's say the famous opinion you have to redo.
You wearing the leather socks back again.
Yes, yes, and you start a new time. Do you understand me, brothers? He asked. Let's say I have the leather socks. I do wudu on top of the leather socks. I wipe on top of the leather socks. When I went home, for any reason, I took off the leather socks. This, as I said, the famous opinion, you have to do wudu again. But we have other opinion, you don't need to do wudu. We have third opinion, you have to wash just your feet if you don't break the wudu between this time. Do you understand? Now, if I take off the leather socks, Shaykh, okay, and I did wudu, and I wear the leather socks again, we'll say you start a new time. So when this time start, again, when you break your wudu. Not when I wear the leather socks. When I break the new wudu, start a new time. Is that clear, inshallah? Abdul Malik? Sure.
There was a question before, sorry.
No problem. Brother, if I don't mind even wallahi to answer everyone privately, but if you have any idea, don't hide anything. Say it.
Example, we have wudu, we wear the leather socks, we break the wudu,
Yes,
redo the wudu, when we wearing the leather socks,
yes,
go to home, remove the leather socks,
yes.
and then after 10 minutes say, put back again the leather socks. Is the wudu carry on?
100%. 100%. He said, I wipe on top of the leather socks. No, focus now. This different issue. I take off the leather socks. When you take off the leather socks with that opinion, now you break your wudu with the first opinion that I said, the famous one. So if I want to wear the leather socks, I have to do wudu, new wudu. Is that clear? But with the other opinion, you don't need. But the best to do new wudu. Okay? Is that clear now? Inshallah. Any question? Is that clear, brothers? Please don't shake your head if you don't understand. Do you understand it? Allahumma lakal hamd. Do you understand it? بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأطيب التحيات وأتم التسليم على حبيب قلوبنا سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Ya Allah, we attend with your permission and we get this knowledge with your power, Ya Allah. We beg you to keep all of us with beneficial knowledge, Ya Allah, which make us close to you and to your beloved the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Allah, please keep our heart, our mind, our bodies on the right path, Ya Allah. Keep all of us with a strong connection with you and you beloved the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Keep our heart, our tongue busy with your dhikr, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, with salah ala Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Unite our heart, please unite our heart. Support all of us to practice Islam perfectly, to give the best image about Islam, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Ya Allah, with this blessed time, please give shifa to all our brothers and sisters in Islam, especially the dad of brother Mahfoud. Bless him with afiyah, Ya Allah. Bring him back to his house soon, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, with full afiyah, Ya Allah. Every brother, every sister in the hospital, please bless them with afiyah, Ya Allah. Your mercy wider than everything in this world, Ya Allah. We are nothing, Ya Allah, according to your power. Please support us. Please support us and accept us as a real servant for your religion. Support us to support this religion, to make the nation of Rasulullah the best in the world again, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Ya Allah, please make this knowledge with us in the scale of good deeds. Don't make this knowledge against us on the day of judgment, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا وقلبا خاشعا ولسانا ذاكرا وعينا من خشيتك دامعا. اللهم زدنا ولا تنقصنا، أكرمنا ولا تهنا، آثرنا ولا تؤثر علينا، أرضنا وارض عنا، أغننا بالعلم وزينا بالحلم وجملنا بالتقوى وجملنا بالعافية. اللهم اجمع لنا خيري الدنيا والآخرة. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا إننا آمنا بما أنزلت واتبعنا الرسول فاكتبنا مع الشاهدين، واغفر لنا ولوالدينا ولأمة محمد أجمعين، وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.